Welcome to Switch Corner, my name is Alex. Today we have a massive blockbuster sale live right now on the eShop, and here I'll be covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. This video, it is any price goes. If you do want budget, check out my Thursday under $10 edition. Without though, like, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and let's get started. A couple of things then before we do get into this. As always, I have two winners to announce for two $10 eShop gift cards and two more to give away. All you need to do to enter, drop a comment down below for your chance to win in next week's video. Then if you are grabbing anything, consider using cornershop.gg for instant delivery email eShop credit. You'll be getting 10% off at checkout using code CORNER. A shout out then to the channel members who go above and beyond to support the content here on the channel. And then finally, this video, it is part one. There was just too many deals, so I've got 17 games for you all today, and then expect a bonus video tomorrow with an additional 16. That's going to be Sunday the 18th at 9 AM PST. Persona 5 Strikers then to kick us off on this. It's the Warrior spin on the Persona formula, and it's incredibly well done. The main reason it just doesn't go all out with the combat, basically. It remembers that Persona, it is a narrative heavy and dedicates much of the gameplay here to exploration and dialogue before then breaking out into arena styled fights when crawling these dungeons. The Phantom Thieves, so here they are out to take down corruption as always, while enjoying a road trip across Japan for summer vacation. It looks great, it plays great, the writing is top quality as always, and the soundtrack just incredible stuff. My full review, you'll find it in the pinned comment below, and it's a new low price here, that is 60% off. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax then, while I'm on the series on this one, it's a fighter spin on the name, and while many were disappointed that it wasn't a mainline entry, I was a big fan. Now this one, it's the cast of the 4th entry alongside Persona 3 members as well. A warning though here, the story, it's a visual novel design, it's going to be tough with no knowledge, but the gameplay modes, they are still well worth it as you battle an army of shadows utilising what is an extremely deep combat system. It's a new low price here then, 35% off, and my full review, it is in the pinned comment below. Capcom Fighting Collection then would be another good option for fight fans, and here we're rocking 25% off. That is a new low price. It's another one I reviewed here on the channel, a common theme with today's list, but find that in the pinned comment below. This though, it's a bundle of some of Capcom's most popular arcade games, and also a few that I'd consider a little more obscure but long desired by fans. All are extremely fun though and interesting to see, and it's 10 games a total. That's going to be Darkstalkers, Night Warriors, Vampire Savior, Vampire Hunter 2, Vampire Savior 2, Red Earth, Cyberbots, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Gem Fighter Minimax, and finally Hyper Street Fighter 2. Many then even pack original or translated options. You can adjust the borders and the ratio, and finally it does pack online play as well. Death's Door then was one of my favourite games of last year, and now it's here with 35% off. It is matching the low price. It's somewhat a love letter to old school Zelda, or at least that's how I felt, with an isometric viewpoint and a combination of exploration, environmental puzzles, and of course combat. It's got an extremely fluid battle system though, and I just overall loved the world it's featured in. The basic idea though, you are a crow that collects souls by entering other worlds. As something goes wrong though, and now you can't return home without the intended souls. If you don't find it, you'll actually age and die. The colour world, that is not yours. The black and white one is what we call home. It's just all incredibly stylish and action packed. Again as well with this one, find that review in the pinned comment down below. A shout out then to Red Deer Games for sponsoring today's video with their latest release, Space Raiders in Space. A name kind of makes me laugh because where else would the Space Raiders be? But either way, I've been excited for this one once I saw it announced a good 6 or so months back, and now I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it. As always as well, they are making it super cheap to do so with a 69% launch discount. Promising to be a mixture of roguelike and tower defense, so you'll be controlling up to 8 mostly capable heroes, each with their own unique quirks and talents. It's a game of base building, resource gathering, and uncovering then new weapons to leverage. I just love the cel-shaded style though. It's got some epic looking alien monster designs, and it's promising to wrap things up with some adult humour as well. I've just downloaded it though, yet to try it, but if you do want to join me, check out the link in the pinned comment down below. It supports both the channel and Red Deer directly. Atelier Ryza then sees not only the first entry back matching the low price with 50% off, but also the second entry as well with a new low price 50% off. Now given the fact, this is a JRPG and it has an action spin on its combat, you're going to be getting a lot of game here for your cash. The story though for the genre, it's a little more subdued at the most, but it's just a really likeable cast, and I do think they are some of the most visually impressive titles on the Nintendo Switch. The first game though has you exploring a forbidden island, while the second it has you investigating ruins. The gameplay, it's a mix of exploration, dialogue, crafting and combat, and it is great stuff. Strongly recommend watching a fuller review though, as there is a lot of course going on in here. Loop Hero then, it was a bit of an addiction for me. I had played it on PC, loved it, but couldn't wait to get it on Switch for handheld play, and it did not disappoint. It's just such a unique concept here, and the idea is this: you control the world, not the hero. You need to place tiles on this loop, progressively increasing their ability before sending them off to face what is a boss encounter. Combat, all of that, automatic. It's relying on you to strategize a path that works to increase strength and other factors without hurting too much. The overall goal, save this place trapped in this loop. Watch my full review on this one, it's in the pinned comment. It gets complex, that is for sure. And yeah, it's matching the low price here then, that is 30% off. Demon Slayer then, I only started watching relatively recently, and like many I fell in love with the world and the cast. Thankfully I'd finished up the first season when it came to this release, which is the perfect place to pick up the game. It basically tackles many of the major moments from season 1 leading up to the train arc. The gameplay though, a combination of arena fighting with very basic then exploration locations as well. Honestly, the latter, weak kind of linear sections, but I still enjoyed seeing areas from the anime, and the combat is definitely solid. Arena brawlers, they're less about depth of mechanics and more about just over-the-top action, and this entry it definitely didn't disappoint. You can also get it cheaper on other platforms honestly, but I did really enjoy it on the go as well, and here it's a new low price, that is 30% off. Buried Stars then is a more obscure release, but I love this game and I covered it on one of my older roundup videos, a quickfire reviews. The game really, it's a visual novel, but a little more involved, think almost Phoenix Wright investigation style. Basically though, you're part of a TV broadcast, kind of wannabe celebrities, a disaster occurs, the building collapses, now you are trapped and someone at the same time has been murdered. Now you need to go figure it out, all while building relationships and tracking social media. It's just a really well handled concept, and I'll link my video review in the pinned comment down below. It's also then a new low price of 40% off. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater then will be a good option for the horror fans out there. This originally released on the Wii U before finally receiving the port on the Switch towards the end of last year, and I was personally, I'd say mostly impressed. Honestly, it shows its age in some ways. The controls can be a little clunky, but the idea of ghosts and defending yourself with a camera, it is unique and it definitely stands up 20 years later. I also then found it pretty creepy as well. These ghosts can come from anywhere, but as you do progress, you'll be getting better equipment, better lenses, better cameras. You'll even control multiple characters and uncover stories centered around Mount Akami and basically your investigations. It's a new low price, 25% off, and my full review it is in the pinned comment down below. Monster Hunter Rise then, and I'm keeping this quick, it's matching the low with 50% off. It was one of the biggest releases of 2021, understandably so. It was built from the ground up for the hardware, and it performs perfectly with, sensible compromises. Get into this world though, hunt these monsters and level up that equipment. It's just an addictive loop, best experienced online with a group of friends. The main reason I want to mention it though, the DLC Sunbreaker gets a new low price, that is 25% off, and I was yet to add it to the library, so now is the time for me, and if you've been considering it, this seems like a fair price, so maybe take a look. I'm also then picking up Tasomashi, I think I'm saying that right, and I've always liked the look of this one. Seems to be an adventure platformer, but there's something about the visual design that really works for me. From what I understand at launch, it did receive a patch, but it has some performance issues, but I'm going to be taking a risk on it. A great review on this one as well then, Jordan over at Switchwatch. I'll link that down below as that was my point of reference for finally taking the risk here. Our first winner of the week then is going to David, who asked what the game was in the intro of last week's video, and that was actually Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4, some of the best RPGs out there. Congrats to David, drop me an email, and everyone else then, a second winner coming up here shortly in the video. No More Heroes 3 then returns, matching the low here, 50% off, and talking about performance issues, you can still find the fun through them, and I found that was very much the case here. Yes, the open world is empty, controls in these moments more than challenging at times, and the combat, the frame rate can drop for these areas, but if you get into a mainline boss fight, this is just an incredible experience. Here though, we're once again fighting through the ranks, but now against an intergalactic opponent, and I just love this world, and Travis Touchdown still packs that same immature sense of humour, and it's just great to have a game that is not once out to take itself seriously. Watch a few reviews first though, this one it scores, they went all over the place, and I'm definitely on the positive side of the equation. Disco Elysium then to kick off the final 3 games, and what a masterpiece this is. It did receive a patch shortly after launch. It is still not perfect, but it reduced load times, and it's just extremely easy to find the gold in this game. I loved it in its original state, and I just had to make some compromises for handout, but it was totally worth it. The idea though, it's an RPG, you play a detective with more than a few issues, and you're investigating a murder. It's all about exploration, dialogue, figuring out clues on where they point you next. The writing is so incredibly dark though, and it's just pitch perfect as it tackles multiple challenging themes at the same time. Additionally, it even packs some tabletop styled elements as well, and then it's topped off with an incredible soundtrack by C-Power and some of the best voice acting I've ever heard for the entire story. It's a new low price, 50% off, and you can watch my full review in the pinned comment down below. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim then, while I'm on incredible stories, and this is one of 4 10 out of 10s I've ever given on the channel, and I am near now at 600 reviews. This is a sci-fi story that has us travelling to different time periods as we face an incoming war against an unknown race. It's a combination of story and strategy here, but the story is what won me over. It's almost think 2D in design, but with free movement to go and explore. The strategy, it uses a wire lock, and while it is too easy, these mech moments, they still had some entertainment value for me. Just kind of establishes you are fighting for something bigger than yourself. You'll get a lot of game here as well, like Disco Elysium, for your cash, and it's matching the low, 35% off. You can watch my full review in the pinned comment down below. Our second winner then, it's going to Emil, who likes the look of Neon Abyss but not a fan of the genre. I get it, we get way too many roguelikes nowadays, but either way, congrats. Drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance to win in next week's video. Neon White then to close us out on this. It's been one of my favourite games of 2022 so far, a first-person parkour-like experience. You have died and now you find yourselves in heaven. The reason they need you to defend the location from demons, and in return you do get to reside here if you survive. That is because you should definitely be in hell, and for that reason you have an explosive collar around your neck. The gameplay though, it's really about picking up cards which act as guns or a special ability and managing that deck as you sprint through this world. They are limited use. It's kind of, sounds complicated in the early game. It definitely takes a little getting used to, but it's well worth that commitment. And yeah, it's definitely a game built for speedrunners. It's just incredibly addictive as you chase the top spot on the online leaderboards. Watch my full review though in the pinned comment, but this, again, a genius piece of work. It's topped off then with this incredible visual style, a mostly solid frame rate outside of a few stumbles towards the end game, and then of course just incredible music that completely elevates the experience. And that is the video down, but remember, I'm dropping an extra one this week, Sunday the 18th at 9 AM PST, once live as well. I'll put it in the pinned comment down below just for that easy access. Will you be adding anything to the library though? Let me know in the comments down below. With that then, hit subscribe, but join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.